Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. So in today's video, I am going to plant me a salsa garden. And you just saw me finish putting my drainage hose in my galvanized container. And I bought this container in the wintertime when there's a lot of things that go on sale in the big box stores and department stores. So I found this galvanized container is really made for ice. You know, you can put drinks in it and keep them chilled during the summertime. But I decided I wanted to use it as a container just for this purpose. Yesterday I got rained out while I was trying to complete this project, so I didn't get to finish it, and it looks like it's gonna rain again today, but I am determined that I am gonna finish planting my salsa garden because I love salsa, number one, and number two, there's nothing like homegrown, homemade salsa. So if you haven't tried it, please give it a try. Now there's 4 things that I'm gonna plant in my salsa garden. I'm gonna plant some tomatoes, some peppers, some cilantro, and some onions. Now I do have onions already growing in my garden, but I am gonna plant some chives that I have already grown, and I'm just gonna transplant them into my salsa garden. So I'm going to mix up a batch of my homemade potty soil, add some fertilizer, and then I will get started planting my container salsa garden. Okay, so I'm going to start out with my tomato plant. This is a bush Goliath determinate tomato. It gets to be 3 1/2 feet tall and 3 to 4 inch fruit. I'm going to plant this one deeper than I'm going to plant all the rest of them, the tomato plant, because it will grow roots around the hairs on the stem of the plant. And now my next one plant is the pepper plant, and this one is called a Santa Fe grand pepper. It gets to be really tall. This one has mild peppers because I don't like really hot salsa, so I'm gonna have to add a cage for this one because it does get to be about 24 to 48 inches tall. Now my cilantro and my peppers, I didn't plant them as deeply as I planted my tomato plant, but my thinking is I'll plant these around my tomato plants, and that my peppers and my tomatoes will help to shade them, to keep them cool in the summer. So I'll pop one more in this hole, one more in the hole here, and if they do start to bolt, then I will simply add some more plants. And I am going to plant some seeds around this salsa garden of cilantro plants. And these are some chives that I started from seed, and I am just going to transplant them to the back here. Now I do have onions growing in my garden, and if I need onions I can just go and get some of those onions, but in the meantime I'll just do these like chives in the back of this container garden. So my container salsa garden is almost done, but I am going to plant some more cilantro plants, and I'll show you the seeds. But this is what they look like, and they do grow a little slow, I found. And I'm going to plant some in the front of my garden container garden, and I'm just going to lightly cover them with some soil. Going to plant some in the back and on the side of this container garden, and that way when my cilantro is dying out I have some more to look forward to. And if it's growing a little slow, I can always get some from my local nursery and pop it in to this container. I can barely wait for this salsa. It is going to be so delicious. And if you have planted a salsa garden, please comment down below and let me know how it turned out. I would just love to hear about your experiences growing a salsa garden. So I am going to water this. It looks like it's going to rain, but just in case the weather changes and it doesn't rain, then I will have had some moisture added to this garden. Now this pepper plant, as I mentioned, gets to be about 20, 40, 48 inches tall, so it's going to really need a tall tomato cage. As far as my tomato, I am just going to stake this one because it gets to be about 3 1/2 feet tall. So I'm going to use this stake and stake it down. I like to do this before the plants grow, that way I won't have to stick my stake in and risk damaging my roots to my plants. And that's all there is to growing a salsa garden. And I'm just watering it in just to make sure my seeds get some moisture to help them to germinate. Well, my salsa garden is all done. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.